Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me today. Hey, what's up? Brian, Mark, Scott, Brody. I think I saw Mark Sanset in there as well. Hey, what's up, Jay? Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it a lot. There's several things I wanted to update you all on, and so here's what we're going to be doing today. Here's what's on the docket. First, I've been texting with Ben, aka Most Exhausting Player, aka Green Shirt Guy, and so I'm going to give you an update on how that's doing. I'm also going to give you an update on my injury. Many of you have been asking about that, and I appreciate that a lot. Thank you all for your support, your concern, for wishing me well and a speedy recovery. I appreciate that a lot. And then after I'm done with that, I'd like to do a Q&A. So if you have any questions, questions or otherwise, whatever you want to talk about, feel free to get your questions queued up. I'll just kind of take a couple minutes to go through the updates on Ben and the on my foot, and then I'll be happy to hang around and answer some questions as well. So first of all, going back to Ben, he and I were just texting, and like the long and the short of it is we've just had to keep pushing things back, and we're at a point now where I'll give you an update on my foot in a minute, but we're at a point now where I'm starting to see kind of some light at the end of the tunnel, and things are starting to feel somewhat ready to start training a little bit again. But he's pretty uncertain about the whole COVID situation and traveling and all the restrictions that are in place as far as that's concerned right now. So I know you were so excited about that match. I was excited about that match. It's something I was looking forward to a lot, just as a personal challenge, both as a tennis player, but also as a content creator, to kind of put myself out there like that and put myself on the line against a really skilled opponent, somebody that is controversial, somebody that wins matches in a style that a lot of people don't appreciate, and a lot of people disrespect, and just don't have very nice things to say about that type of player. So putting myself in the position of trying to beat that type of player, especially somebody who has that style and is as good at it as Ben is something I was really excited about. When I hurt myself, it was 2 months ago, by the way, just like 2 days ago. It's been 2 months since I hurt myself, and at that point in time, I was 2 weeks out from playing Ben. Such frustrating, timing. I was so looking forward to the match and to sharing it with all of you and making content out of it. And so having to put it on the back burner has been tough. But now that I'm kind of this far out from the injury, I realize how bad it was. And so I'm really glad that I haven't pushed it, and I haven't, tried to rush back to training or playing matches or anything like that. So that's kind of the Ben situation. Basically, it's on hold for the time being, and just have to wait and see what the timeline is like. And so I guess I'll move on to like the foot, situation. On that front, what I've been telling people is it's getting like 1% better every day. And I think that's about the timeline that I'm on. It's been 2 months now, and consistently, day after day, it feels better. And if you all are interested, I'll do like a kind of a detailed rundown of everything I've been doing in terms of stretching, in terms of rehab, in terms of therapy. This ball here, a Bosu ball, maybe some of you are familiar with. It's pretty common in gyms for working out. I've been using this quite a bit to get back to start strengthening it. But up until very recently, I've just been focusing on stretching and mobility and lots of icing. And it's been getting like a tiny bit better each day. And yesterday was the first day in 2 months that I put tennis shoes on and not my day-to-day shoes, which are super kind of minimal barefoot style shoes. Yesterday was my first day putting tennis shoes on, taking out the ball machine, which I've been hitting with quite a bit, and actually doing some movement along the baseline while hitting the ball. And it was also my first day with tennis shoes on, hitting a normal serve, driving off the court, and then landing on my right foot, which is the foot that I hurt. So today I feel good. Like didn't set me back. I didn't have any pain. And so to me, that's a really good sign. And so I texted Ben this morning and just gave him that update and said, hey, I feel like I kind of see some light at the end of the tunnel. I've texted Coach Eric and hoping to set up a training time with him sometime soon. And so slowly I'm going to start getting the ball rolling again. And that means I'll probably sign up for a tournament again. You'll start seeing training content from me again with Coach Eric, seeing what I'm working on to get my game back where I want it to be. Yesterday, in the middle of my hitting session, I did some sprints, just kind of, 3/4 effort, just kind of the length of the court. And even though I've been doing stationary bike at home, even though I've been doing like body weight, workouts at home, man, the last 2 months, like I kind of have to, I don't want to say start over again, but Coach Eric was pushing me. He was pushing me really hard. And after 6 or 8 weeks of that, I was in a much better place, fitness-wise. And I feel like I've lost a lot of that. And so I'm gonna have to get again. And that's just the way it is. That's just how injuries go. And yesterday, as I started to move a little bit, and I did a couple of sprints, maybe half a dozen, like 3/4 sprints, just to test out my foot, I realized that I'm slow again. Not that I looked super fast in the first place on video. We all look slower on video than what it feels like in real life. But you all probably know what I mean. Like after a break, you just feel off. You feel slow, and I felt that yesterday. So it's going to be a long road back, but I'm looking forward to documenting that journey and to getting back to where I want to be again. So that's kind of update. Oh, by the way, if anybody's interested, leave a comment in this video. Like these are the types of shoes. Maybe you've noticed. Like these are the types of shoes I'm used to wearing. Like with one hand, I can basically ball this up. And so honestly, I think how quickly I recovered has a lot to do with the fact that I'm used to basically being barefoot all day, every day. So my ankles are really strong. This was just a fluke thing for me to have the ball get hit at my face and try to get out of the way. And I just didn't have the awareness of where my foot was. I misplanted it and I pushed against it. And that's what jacked me up. So I've been on this quest to try to find a tennis shoe that is more minimal. That's not so big. That's not so chunky. And I think I found something. If anybody knows what these shoes are, does anybody in the chat know what these shoes are? These are tennis shoes, but they feel very different from like a normal tennis shoe. These actually have some flex to them. Like they actually twist and flex pretty easily, and they're way less rigid and less stiff. Yeah, that's right. Rob got it. It's a ladies' tennis shoe, and something I'm experimenting with. So maybe I'll make a video about that at some point. Yeah, that's right. They're Serena Williams shoes. So I'm trying to find a compromise between my normal, like minimal kind of barefoot shoes that I'm used to wearing day to day, and like a normal tennis shoe, which is just like a freaking brick around your foot. And I went so long without playing and competing that I feel that's why I just caught the edge of my foot on that effort to like try to push out of the way, and I just drove right against that twist into my foot, into my ankle. Yeah, man, I have a hard time looking at I can't believe my foot went in that position. Okay, so that's an update on my foot. That's my status. I'm doing a lot of balance type of training. I have a slide board at home. I'm sliding back and forth to strengthen up my ankles, my feet, and my legs. So I'm slowly starting to ramp up again. I'm texting with Coach Eric to get a training session back together again. So that's where I'm at. So let's do some Q&A. I know I've seen a couple questions go by. Somebody, backhand, thanks for the question on the backhand. I'll come back around. Backhand's coming along. I was hitting with the ball machine yesterday. I like how it's feeling, and it's kind of like my foot. Like it's 1% at a time, moving in the right direction. I'm starting to be able to hit heavy balls now on my backhand, like where the ball hangs up, sits up, and then kind of dives back down into the court on the other side. I'm starting to be able to hit cross courts pretty comfortably. I'm starting to hit open stance with a one-hander. Yesterday, I kind of pushed myself the most just because my foot has been out. My right foot is open stance for me on my backhand side. So I've started pushing myself and training, hitting a topspin, cross courts, confident swing, one-handed backhand off an open stance, and I'm doing it when I know the feed. Managing the level of challenge is the key. Like if I panic, if I make it too difficult, if I'm playing a points, I'm not to the point yet where it's super reliable under all different types of stress. And that just takes time. For those of you who are making technical changes, it doesn't just happen all at once at the snap of the fingers. When you figure out what you're supposed to do differently, it doesn't change habits instantly. Like you have to train those new habits. So I'm in the process of doing that. And you know what? I should probably do an update video. It's been a while since I've done my crappy backhand update video. So thanks for the reminder. I'll probably do an update on that soon. What barefoot shoes I wear? I've worn all kinds of different ones. I've worn the 5 fingers, the Vibrams. I've had several pairs of those. I've had several pairs of Merrells. I've had several pairs of, I'm thinking on the most recent brand. Currently, I wear Vivo barefoot. I've had 2 pairs of the same style I have on right now. My favorite right now is Vivo barefoot. I think is the best home trainer for tennis. I think shadow swings, fitness, footwork, like you name it. If you go to YouTube and you do a search for Essential Tennis Home, just those 3 words, we did a 6-video series back when the pandemic started about how to improve your mental game, your strategy, your technique, your footwork, your fitness, your mental toughness at home. So check out that series. I saw, let's see, from Karen, how many coffee makers on the site? So that's my brother. My brother's a big coffee snob. He roasts his own beans. He gets green raw beans and he roasts them himself at home. So I don't know how many coffee makers are over there. That's James. I'm a tea person, more so than coffee. I love coffee too, though. How do you find high-level players near you? Playercourts.com is a really good resource. Nicholas, check them out. Parrot Head, what do you recommend for blisters on fingers and feet? Moleskin, check out Moleskin. Works really well combined with athletic tape. Want to put the Moleskin like directly over the spot that's bothering you, and then put athletic tape over the top of the Moleskin. Check that out. What are you hiding in the units? Yeah, we have conversations about like how many bodies. So like this is our court, and the court space is owned by the storage people, and so this was a 4-court facility, tennis facility on this side, and then another 4 courts on the other side. The club went out of business. The building got sold. And the units, people bought the building. So there's 3 courts worth of storage units over on that side of the curtain. And I think there's about 110 units or so. And so like it's full of people's crap. It's full of people's crap that they don't need. But yeah, we like to guess how many Breaking Bad style like barrels there are in those units. Who knows? All right, let's see. What else do we have here? What's Is your first instinct to slice on the backhand side? 100,000%. If you watch my match against Kevin several years ago, if you watch my match against Scott Baxter from Player Court, if you watch my match against Sean, against Ira, against Mark, you'll see that I sliced almost every backhand. And that's from decades of poor drive mechanics, poor topspin, basically non-existent topspin backhand, and just relying on the slice. And so after decades of doing that, it just gets grooved in. Like it just becomes second nature. You just go to the slice after decades of using that as a crutch. So, those of you who have a one-hander or a two-hander, if it's not super confident, don't overly rely on the slice. It's been a difficult hole to try to dig myself out of, and it's been a big project for me, trying to develop the drive. And honestly, this injury has probably been a good thing, for my backhand, and not push it too much. Hey, Steve Beck, what's up? Steve Beck in the house. Yeah, and Brian Mark here too. Yeah, a couple Essential Tennis OGs in the house. Do you think the break from movement has allowed you to focus on your ball striking? Yeah. So yeah, I've been focusing a lot on racket head speed, forehand racket head speed. Listen, watching Mark, I'm sure is still in the chat, watching Scott, watching Cole, watching those three players duke it out against each other, like on the sidelines, I realized how far behind my intensity is, how far behind my fitness is, how far behind, how strong my shots, like my intensity of how I strike the ball needs to double or triple. And so during this time where I haven't been able to move, I've been doing a lot of ball machine hitting where I just hit the ball hard again and again and again and again, and while trying to control the outcome and kind of balancing out, like how hard can I hit the ball 30, 40, 50 times in a row while keeping it in the court like 70, 80% of the time, like missing quite a bit. But I've been challenging myself physically in terms of like shoulder and arm and forearm and hand, how hard the ball repetitively. Because I realized watching Mark and watching Cole, watching Scott, and having played against Ira, having played against Mark, like I realize now in hindsight that I got really caught. I got stuck in like a customer tennis rut. That's what we call it, teaching pros, finding just the right speed for our student so that they're challenged just a little bit. And hanging out in that space with my students for 15, 20 years, my intensity and like my body's ability to respond aggressively and intensely has just totally gone to the wayside. So it's been good for me to focus on that for a while. Steve Beck, would you say your current hairstyle is more conducive to more topspin? It can't make it worse. It's probably better. All right, let's see. Scrolling. Let's see here. Man, I'm way behind on stuff. If you want to be certain your question gets answered, by the way, super chat is it's not at all me asking for donations, but I'm just saying. A lot of comments and questions coming in. So if you want to be absolutely certain I answer your question, if you have a really important question for me to answer, the super chat is engaged. Let's see. Talk more about best calf strengthening exercises after an injury. Don't drink coffee. Yeah. I do drink coffee, but it's like kind of a treat for me. Like I get jittery. I'm pretty caffeine sensitive, so I drink green tea every day. Scott, yeah, ankle or calf strengthening. Can I turn the camera around? Yeah, it looks like I can. You didn't even ask a question. So one exercise that therapist gave me was to raise on both feet and then take away the foot that's healthy. Sorry, I'm gonna have to figure this out. And then lower foot down. So both feet go up and then take the foot off the ground that's healthy and then slowly lower the injured foot or the injured side. I don't know if that's as good for a calf, but raise, take away the good foot, and then lower on the injured foot. I found that really helpful to help strengthen and stabilize my foot and my ankle. And then the other thing I've been doing a lot of is the Bosu ball. This Duke right here, standing on the blue bubbly side, and then also, and then just one foot standing, and then balancing on one foot as long as possible, and then also flipping it over and standing on the flat part and balancing on one foot, and just keep my balance as long as possible. Both those things have been really helpful for me. I just saw go past. How did I break my nose? So I was about 10 years old, and I was swimming at the YMCA, and they have those foam like kickboards that you hold on to, and me and my brothers were holding the kickboards underneath the water. It's like a flat like foam, board that you can like hold on to in the water, and letting them go so that they shot, they can totally like shoot out of the water. So I was holding a kickboard under the water, like down at like waist height. I let go, came up out of the water, and got the bottom of my nose. And I'm like, my nose killed me for like a week or two after that. I'm like 95% sure I broke my nose, but parents really didn't have money at the time to even have it looked at. So to this day, I have trouble breathing through my nose, and I'm pretty confident that's when it happened, and it's really contributed to a lot of respiratory stuff for me, I think. So yeah, so that's when I broke my nose. Nobody's ever asked me that before, but that's how it happened. Let's see what we got here. Questions. Struggling with an injury in the left knee. No, sorry, Ulysses. I don't really have any knee expertise. I wish I could help you. Best remedy found for tennis elbow. If you go to YouTube and you do a search for essential tennis elbow, just those 3 words, there's a 3-part video series I did like 10 years ago with a sports medicine expert, and he gave like a dozen different exercises that you can do for golfer's elbow, tennis elbow. Really, really helpful stuff. So make sure to just do a search for those 3 words, essential tennis elbow. We've done a couple other videos since then. One of them was with the physio for Jack Sock. He was really, really helpful. He gave a bunch of exercises too. So go check those out. Tennis elbows in the chat. Tennis elbow. I don't know if you should hang out around here. There's a lot of people angry at you. Advice for a passive 3-0 player at best for conditioning. I mean, Jay, listen, if you're a 3-0 player and you're self-describing yourself as passive, I just did a video about this earlier today. You have to learn how to stretch your comfort zone. You have to learn how to leave your comfort zone, stretch beyond it by like 5%, and then hang out there for like a half an hour. Like this is the process I was going through with Coach Eric on the court was, and this is why having a coach or like a trainer, like if you're working out, having a trainer can be so valuable because they're experts at getting you out of your zone. Steve Beck's still in the chat. Can I get an amen from Steve Beck? He's the one I did Complete Tennis Fitness with. A good trainer knows where like your limit is, and they know that you can actually do more than that. And so it might have to do with your cardio conditioning. It might have to do with your strength. It might have to do with your intensity level and how fast you swing the racket. Like we all have limitation, points in our head that aren't actually true. It's just where we're comfortable. So the key is finding some way to go past that comfort marker and then hanging out there for a while. And then the next time you go there, it's not scary anymore. It's not uncomfortable anymore. Like you've already done that. And so you can go to that point and then push 5% past that. Oh, Mark with the donation. Spending your White Castle money, Mark. Man, you don't have to do that. All right, I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question in a minute. And so, little step by little step by little step, it's a process of raising your comfort level with intensity. And this was the process I was going through with Coach Eric. Like when I played, you know, Mark, who's in the chat right now, like he just steamrolled me physically. I was in much better shape than I was against Ira. But Mark was the next level of intensity. And so like I couldn't go toe to toe with Mark. Like the force that he brought and the intensity that he brought was too much for me. And I know I can give that much output that Mark does, but it takes time to build your capacity. You can't just decide that you're going to play like Mark and then play like Mark, even though he eats KFC and it doesn't seem fair that he's able to do that. But it's through years and years of pushing himself and making himself uncomfortable that he can do what he does on a tennis court. So if you're passive right now, you need to push past that passivity, go to where it's uncomfortable for you right now, and then do it session after session after session after session after session, and make it so that it's routine for you to become uncomfortable with everything. Your footwork, your effort, your swing speed, like everything needs to be twice as intense as it is now. All right. First of all, shout out to Bryan Mark with the super chat donation. Mark's Sanset. See, what Mark is really doing right now is he wants me to give his YouTube channel a shout out. And for $10, I'll give his YouTube channel a shout out. Mark does string reviews. He does racket reviews. He does late night stringing sessions. He does live Q&As about strings, gives a lot of valuable information about what string you should be using, what string you should avoid, what string's a waste of money, what string is like the value, you know, whatever's hot right now, babble at RPM or whatever it is. Mark, best pre-match meal, Taco Bell, KFC. Oh, jeez. I can't do it, man. I'm so far, like, I'm like borderline like food snob now. Like I'm so far down the trail of like trying to eat like clean and healthy. I can't even pick one. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll do Chipotle. I know there's people in this chat right now that will say, oh, Chipotle is terrible. Like you got to go to the bathroom after you eat Chipotle or whatever. But I will go all in on some Chipotle. I don't know how you feel about them, Mark, but I'll go there with you for lunch sometime. What else? And then Panera. Panera has been my go-to recently. They have like a Southwest chicken salad, I think it is. I get that with extra chicken. It's got avocado and chicken, and that's been my go-to for lunch recently. But the furthest I'll go, maybe I'll do Qdoba. Like if Chipotle is not available, I would do Qdoba. Yeah, Karen, about tennis elbow. Karen in the chat said try the TheraBar. I've used that. I've had tennis elbow. Salad. I've had tennis elbow, and the TheraBar was helpful for me too. All right, let's see what we got here. Heels, bottom of my calf hurt after playing tennis. Can you give any advice? It's hard. I really can't, Johnny. Just not my area of expertise, and it could be a million different things. Without seeing you play and seeing you move, like I would just totally be guessing. So no, I'm sorry. I really can't give you good feedback or good advice on that. Pizza all the way by Vicente. Popeyes. Yeah, so anyway, definitely subscribe to Mark's channel. Mark Sanset's channel is really good if you're a serious tennis player. What racket am I using? Okay, so I avoid talking about my racket, but since this live chat, nobody's ever gonna scroll through this. So I have two of the same racket. Let me turn my camera around. So this is an old, see if anybody can guess. This is an old discontinued Wilson. It was discontinued several years ago, See if any of you can guess. You can see a little bit of the original paint underneath. John M, you probably know. It's not the K. I hit with the K factor 6-1. I love the 6-1. John M knows it. So yeah, this is the Wilson Burn. Yep. Yeah, 95 inch Burn FST. Big fan of this racket. It was only in production for, I want to say like a year and a half. Somebody at Wilson told me it was like literally the worst selling racket they ever launched. Just nobody bought it, and so there's hardly any of it anywhere. They stopped making it, and so that's what I settled on. Well, just kind of what I've been used to, and so it's been what I've been using for a while. I know Wilson just came out with a bunch of new pro staffs. That was my jam for the Wilson 6-1 pro staff. I hit with the N code. I hit with the hyper carbon. I hit with the K factor. And so like the whole 6-1 pro staff line, that's that size, that balance, that weight, that's kind of what I'm into. Hey, what's up? Reghav. Sorry, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Really appreciate the donation. Any future prospects for me? What do you mean? Like, are you trying to play competitive tennis? Are you a junior player? Like, what's your status right now? It's not $40, Benoit. It's I don't know what currency that is. I don't even know if I can see what currency that is. Oh, okay. Rupees, 40 rupees. How do I hit topspin whenever the ball is at shoulder level? Lots of trouble with that. Yeah, a lot of players have issues with shoulder height shots. Raghav, I'm going to look for answer to my question. Like, what level are you now? How old are you? Like, what are your goals? Like, it's hard for me to give you good feedback unless I know exactly where you're at the moment. So let me know, and hopefully I see you, or hopefully I see your response, because things are moving kind of quickly. So topspin made no matter what height contact is made at, bruh. Topspin is made the same way, no matter what. The racket needs to start below the point of contact and be moving vertically as contact is made. The hard part about a shoulder high ball is you are already reaching. You're already pretty highly extended as you make contact. So there's not a lot of place to go up, from there. There's not a lot of vertical space above your contact point to continue upwards. But I think what makes it more difficult than that is the fact that the arm and shoulder is just in a weak and compromised position. When you're already, anytime you go above shoulder height with your arm, it's just not a very strong or stable position for your arm or shoulder to be in. So you have to rely more on your body, your core. Make sure your unit turn is strong. Make sure you're coiling your body strongly, and then relying predominantly on your hips, your core, your torso, your shoulders to coil and uncoil through the point of contact. The more work your body does, the more your arm can relax to create the spin. But if your unit turn is weak and your coil is weak and you don't use your body very effectively, then your arm, has to like take over and like do the hitting. And there's not a lot of strength or stability up there, and there's not a lot of room to accelerate the racket. And so it ends up feeling super weak, and it's very difficult to make much topspin. So unit turn, coil, uncoil, make sure you're leading with your hips, your torso, your shoulders. That's the best way to hit topspin or any strong shot from above shoulder height. University player, maybe joining you. Interesting. Yeah, listen, train. I'm guessing you're not. Maybe you are. I don't know. Tell me. Like, are you the strongest player on your team? If not, train as much as possible with the strongest players around you. When I played college tennis, I was the bottom of the lineup. And so every training session, we would do 2 hours, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. And so every training, every team practice was incredible opportunity for me to get stretched outside my comfort zone, figure out how to problem solve against stronger players. So I would say just utilize the resource of the strong players around you on the team as much as humanly possible. And if your coach is not super hands-on, like my coach was not, in hindsight, I wish I spent way more time in the gym than I did in college. I did go and work out, but my coach didn't provide us with any kind of workout plan, no kind of process to follow, no suggestions. Like the fact that I went to the gym was like totally just like I was the one that was initiating that. So if your coach is not giving you any kind of plan off the court, do some research, create a plan for yourself and follow it. Work on your stamina, your conditioning, work on your strength, like your leg strength, your core strength, especially your shoulder and your back strength, and just work yourself hard. Just take the most of the opportunity that you have and just kind of milk it for all it's worth. And it's a huge opportunity to play any kind of college sports. College tennis is amazing. We already discussed Green Shirt Guy. As soon as the stream is over, just refresh. That's the first thing I talked about 36 minutes ago. Ian, I managed to become a 4-5 player in about a year of playing. Wow, congrats, that's impressive. Started really late at 15. Okay, that kind of explains it. So 50, you got time on your side. 16 now, but if I keep improving at that level, do you think I've got a chance for D1 or D2? Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize, Dill Pickle, is that Dylan? What a lot of people don't realize is from the bottom of D1 to the top of D1 is a huge range. And from the bottom of D2 to the top of D2 is a huge range. Same thing with D3. So me, for example, like I played at a D2 school, and we were ranked usually in the 20s nationally, the top 30 nationally, occasionally in the teens. And so we would play other D2 schools where in our conference, we were the best team in our conference. We play other D2 schools where we would all have a competition to see who would who would lose the least amount of games. Like nobody was gonna lose a match. The question was who was gonna lose the most number of games, and whoever lost the most number of games in their match had to buy pizza for the team. Just to give you an idea, like we would play teams that were unbelievably weak, who were also in D2. Then we would play D1 schools that were ranked like 60 or 70 in D1, and we would play like close. There was one team we played every year, Western Michigan University. So when I played, they would be 67 in the country in D1, and usually we would like have an opportunity. When I was there, we never beat them, but it would be like 6-3. Would be the match score, 5-4. Like we would be within a match or two, a play line win or two away from winning the match. So like the bottom of D1, you probably have a shot at. Middle of D2 for sure. Upper D2 probably like very likely. If you're a 4-5 now, you're 16. You spend the next 2 years training and playing as much as possible. You 100% could play D2. D1, it's going to be a lower like D1 school, but you totally could do it. Is that what it is? 80 cents? Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thanks for the donations. Appreciate it. What do I think about women's shoes? Well, you're probably going to see me on the channel in women's tennis shoes very soon. I've started experimenting with Serena's shoes because they're much more flexible than normal tennis shoes. Apparently, she's had ankle issues, and Nike designed them for her because they're much lighter, they're much more flexible. They feel much lower to the ground than a normal tennis shoe. So I fit a women's size 12, and that's thankfully the largest shoe that Nike made in that style. So Yesterday was my first time moving around and hitting with that shoe, and it felt good. Tennis elbow, man, that's kind of you. Chipotle fund is a valuable thing. Thank you, bro. That's really nice of you. Tips for keeping an aggressive mindset, not being scared to miss. Kevin, you need to view competitiveness and mental toughness as any other skill that you need to train and develop. Being a good competitor isn't something that you're like born with, and either you're competitively strong or you're competitively weak, and then like that's it. Like either you're born with like that gene or that DNA, or you're not. That's not the case. You can develop it over time by leaving your comfort zone, seeking out competitive scenarios that make you feel tight and uncomfortable, and then practice hitting confidently under pressure. And different players can take different amounts of pressure. Some people, when you add just a little bit of challenge, like, oh, I bet you can't, whatever, make the net in the garbage can, like they absolutely crumble and just can't even handle the slightest bit of like competitive pressure. Other people see, like, it's just in their personality, right? Like they kind of seek it out. If you want to hit your best shots during match play, then you have to seek out that competitive pressure with a tennis racket and train yourself to hit your best shots in those pressure situations. There's no other way to do it. If you try to trick yourself into saying, oh, like the score is not close, or rather, like you trick yourself into saying, oh, I'm actually way behind when you're ahead, or you try to trick yourself into telling yourself, oh, I'm not really nervous, I'm not anxious, like I'm not feeling any kind of nerves or anything, like I'm totally fine. If you try to avoid nervousness, if you try to avoid that anxiety and that tension, you're never going to be a very strong competitor. You have to seek out those tough situations and then practice performing in those scenarios. Circular Snow, thank you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Year enough time to go from 3-5 to a D3 college team. That's a tough one. How old are you? And how long ago did you start playing tennis? Like how long have you been playing tennis, and how old are you right now? Like, did you just start a year ago and are you 14? Or have you been playing for 5 years and you're a 3-5 and you're 18? Like, two completely different answers I would give you. So Circular Snow, tell me the answer to that, and I'll look for your response here. My friend and I say shot. We say, what would Ian say? That's a lot of pressure. 17 now, started at 14. Okay. That's tough. 3 years and 3-5. So you've got a year. So you've got maybe 2 years left. 40th birthday. How do you know when my 40th birthday is? $2, man. That's gonna be. I'm gonna party it up, just for you, Karen. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's tough, Circular Snow. To be totally honest with you, playing 3 years now. Like, how hard have you been working? Be straight up. Like, really, like, have you been working as hard as possible, or just kind of like going for fun? Like, maybe your parents signed you up for lessons when you were 14. Like, you've been going, and now you've been starting to think about college. And like, oh man, what if I could play for college? Like, for real. Like, how hard really have you been working the last 3 years? That's my last question. Because if you've been working really hard for the last 3 years and you're a 3-5, I'll be honest, it's going to be really tough to play college tennis. But if you've been kind of just showing up and kind of phoning it in for the last 3 years and not really applying yourself, if you haven't really been working super hard or putting yourself out there completely, then maybe you've got a shot. If you really apply yourself and give full effort for the next 18, 24 months, it's not impossible. There's a lot of D3 schools out there that at 4-0 or 4-5 you can definitely play on the team. I've been working pretty hard, trying to play every week, really want to improve. Okay. So listen, yeah, I'm gonna tell you it's impossible. Like it's possible, but you need to play more frequently, play more tournaments. That's another question I didn't ask. If you're not playing competition, if you're not playing tournaments right now, play as many as possible and just get on the court as frequently as you possibly can. Start going to the gym if you're not going to the gym already. And like you need to take it real seriously. If you want to have a good shot, if you want to have like a legitimate chance of playing D3 college tennis, then you need to take it at like every part of your development. You need to take it very seriously as soon as possible. That means training, practice time, just like number of balls hit. That means number of matches played between now and when you graduate. It means number of hours in the gym. Like those three things, those are your top three. Like you need to take all three of those things very seriously and give full effort on all three fronts for the next 12 months. You know, go as hard as you can. And it's doable. Like it's not impossible, but it's not like you're not there yet. Like you've got work you need to do. So get to work. Like it's not impossible, but you're gonna have to work hard to get there for sure. All right, yeah, circular. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, let's see here. All right, it's been almost an hour. I'll hang out probably another 5 or 10 minutes. If you guys have a question you want me to answer, I'll be here another 5 or 10 minutes or so. Then I need to get back to planning more videos for you guys. Is playing an indoor league worth it now that COVID's still out and about? Listen, that's a personal decision, Alex. I can't make that decision for you. I feel comfortable on this court, but this is a totally private. I'm super lucky. Like I'm very, very fortunate. Like I lease this space. It's my space. I know exactly who's coming and going. It's not open to the public, and so like I have a certain luxury of a certain like comfort level here in this space. You need to know what your threshold is, how high a risk you feel that you are, how susceptible you feel you are to the virus. And then you have to know the space you're going to. How seriously do they take it or not seriously do they take it? So like, I can't answer, like you have to answer those questions for yourself. If I knew all those variables, maybe I'd give you some advice. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's still like it's your body, it's your health. And so you need to make the decision for yourself. Johnny Be Good, I live in Wisconsin. I was born and raised in Milwaukee, and my court is in a Milwaukee suburb. Let's see, green shirt guy. So I gave an update on Ben at the very beginning of this broadcast. So at the end of the stream, just refresh this broadcast, and you'll see it right at the beginning. My update there. Is it harder to win the year-end final or a Grand Slam? I think Grand Slam. Grand Slam is harder. It's 3 out of 5, at least for guys. It's 3 out of 5. You have to win. I'm pretty sure you have to win more matches. To win a slam, you have to win 7 matches. Can somebody tell me in the chat how many matches you have to win? Like how many matches did Medvedev win? I don't even know. But the field is bigger. Matches are longer, but to be honest, I don't know all the variables of the year-end final, so I'm sure somebody will tell me how many matches you have to win the year-end final. All right, let's see here. Is it recorded in Milwaukee? It's about 20 minutes outside of Milwaukee. I'm playing an exhibition against Roger Federer in 2021 in January. In Australia. Are you being serious? Any tips? Yeah, just like be fully like present and enjoy every split second you have. Don't worry about strategy, don't worry about tactics, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't make any difference. Like you're not gonna it's not like you're gonna have a chance to like win or even like challenge him. No disrespect. Like I don't know who you are, what your level is, Kaysen. Like I don't know you, but it really doesn't matter unless you're in the top, 500 in the world already. So just enjoy it. What rating were you playing in college? You're playing 4.550. Yeah, in college I would say like at my peak I was a 5.0 player. I played 5.0 USTA. In fact, I moved myself down to 4.5 when I was teaching in Maryland, and after 2 seasons, I got bumped back up again to 5.0. So I'm confident saying that like my best tennis is 5.0. Currently, I'm definitely not playing 5.0. Currently, I would say I'm a 5 player, and I think my match results have borne that out. You know, Mark plays 4.5. Ira plays 4.5. They both beat me. Sean, who I played against, has 4.5 wins. He's currently a computer 4.0, but just started moving up to 4.5, and I beat him fairly easily. So I feel pretty confident saying I'm kind of middle of the road, for maybe towards the bottom of 4.5, kind of bottom to middle 4.5 is what I'd say I am right now. Let's see. Gonna play videos, yeah, 100%. Yeah, my goal is to start training again and get right back into match play. I'm gonna challenge Mark again. I'm gonna challenge Ira again. I'd love to play against Scott. So yeah, I love watching the matches that we've had recently, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and challenging those guys. Are you currently accepting new challengers on the channel? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, John, send me an email to ian@essentialtennis.com. Yeah, I have a list of people that have emailed in and just said, hey, I'd be happy to come up and play you. Yeah, send me an email, and we'll set something up for when I'm back playing again. How does it feel to be at the top of the YouTube tennis community? Well, I'm glad you think so. I appreciate that. Oh man, that's a big question. I don't. On one hand, you know, I like to think I'm in, you know, kind of a leader type of position, and I work hard to keep developing myself as a content creator, as a communicator, as a coach. I work hard to bring in, you know, new tools and develop new styles, because I love tennis and I love digital content. I love videos, and so I want the tennis community to keep evolving and keep progressing, and keep catching up to like the rest of like the general online like video community. Tennis is definitely not super developed or far along compared to many other spaces in online video. So I feel a certain amount of responsibility to keep developing and growing myself as a content creator in the tennis space, because I love the game of tennis, and I want tennis to grow. I want it to be successful. I want to help players have more fun and enjoy the game even more. So from that perspective, I kind of take the role very seriously, I guess, as being a leader in the space. But on the other hand, I try not to think about it a lot. I try to focus on doing what I love to do. I try to focus on making videos that I feel proud of. I try to only make content on topics that like I feel passionate and strongly about right now, because I don't ever want to get up in the morning and feel like, you know, I don't really want to go to work today. Is like the worst feeling I could possibly think of feeling. So I don't come here every day because I want to like be a leader in the tennis space. First and foremost, I come here because I really want to, and I work hard to fill my time with things that I really enjoy doing and I really love doing. But it is in the back of my mind that for tennis and for this like community, I want to keep pushing myself and being better as a content creator. So those are my thoughts about that. That's a good question. My brother doesn't play tennis. He has in the past. Do I watch other YouTube channels, yeah, like all of them. I watch tons of YouTube content. I subscribe to just about everybody who's doing a good job, who's like consistently putting out content. I don't watch all the way through everybody's videos, but I like to keep up to date on like what people are doing and what they're publishing. This is my personal court. It's rented. Yeah, I have a lease on this space. Yeah, so I pay monthly to have this space for myself, and I share it with other local coaches teach here. Oh man, can watching tennis videos like yours online be as good as directly being coached? I can't believe nobody's asked me that question on YouTube before. I don't think. Um, I don't think it can't ever take the place. Now here's the thing. There's a wide range of quality of tennis lessons in person and online, right? You all know this. Like if you've taken lessons in person, you know that not every lesson is the same quality. Some coaches have much more experience and much more insights, and they're much better communicators, and they've honed their craft as a teacher, as a coach. Whereas other coaches, they were a good player in college, and they're like, you know what, like this is the easiest job I can get right now. I can totally like just feed balls and like give lessons, make a decent paycheck, and like that's how they got into it. And 10 years later, they're just still teaching lessons. Like no disrespect to anybody, that it is what it is. Like there's a lot of coaches like that. So I would put my online lessons up against those kind of lazy in-person coaches any day of the week. And I feel very confident that the lessons I publish for free are more valuable than the lessons that you pay for in person, where they're just phoning it in, doing the same drills with every student day after day after day, saying low to high, bend your knees, finish over your shoulder. You know what I'm talking about. I feel so we need to qualify it. Like we need to talk about the quality of the coaching being given. If we're comparing a high quality YouTube lesson with a high quality in-person lesson, a YouTube lesson won't ever take the place of an in-person lesson. The ability to see the students' movement in real time and be able to give immediate, timely feedback and guide the student face to face, that's a priceless thing when you're working with a very good coach. Like you get your money's worth with a very good coach by getting that immediate feedback and having them guide you in real time in the right direction. I can't, well, I suppose we could, if we did like a Zoom call, like in theory, I could give you immediate, feedback, but I don't do that. So based on, the comparison of good coach in person to good YouTube lesson, coaching in person will always be better. A YouTube lesson can't ever take the place of that. But a YouTube lesson can take the place of generic, lazy, in-person coaching. That it can definitely take the place of. How much an average hour price for a good coach? Average here in the U.S. probably $60 an hour, I would say. Average, and it totally depends on geography. Here in the Midwest, I'd say we're kind of the average of the average. If you go to California or New York, you can easily pay $100, for a lesson. But I would say 60-ish is probably average. Yeah, California 75. Yeah, that's probably pretty standard for California. But you can pay a lot more than that. Florida paying 35. Okay, yeah. I mean, it might be a fantastic coach, or they might just be repeating catchphrases. It's hard to say. Coolest place I've played tennis? That's a good question. Locally, there's somebody who, in their backyard, over years and years of work, has made their own grass court in their backyard. That was a really cool experience. Like rolling and leveling and like developing, the grass like year after year after year until it's like perfect. Like be this person like invited the team to his home. He liked our videos, and so he invited us over to go hit on his like personal like grass court. That was really cool experience. All right, last couple here before I sign off. Just past an hour. Best performance on a tennis court was. This is kind of a long story. But I played 3 years of college tennis, and there was 1 year that I got bumped up. There was an eligibility issue, an NCAA eligibility issue with a new player coming into our team. He was coming in to play one doubles with the best player on my team, and because of like paperwork issues, he wasn't eligible to play the NCAA regional tournament. And so the coach, in like a last minute decision, had me play doubles with the best player on the team. And we played 4 or 5 matches together, maybe 5 matches. We beat 3 seeds. We went in unseeded. The player I played with normally would have been the 1 seed in the tournament. We were one of the stronger teams in our region, our NCAA region. And I had an incredible experience with him during that tournament. His intensity and like his guidance and his support, it just elevated my level of play like dramatically. And it was like almost kind of like an out of body experience for multiple like matches in a row. It was like I had absolutely nothing to lose. Like I wasn't supposed to be, in this tournament like at all, really. Wasn't supposed to be winning any of these matches. There was like no pressure, and the coaching and like the support that this player, much stronger than me, gave me, elevated my game tremendously. And we made it to the finals, and we played the 1 seed, and we lost by 1 break in the finals of our regional NCAA. That was really kind of that was one of a couple matches that I cried after. It was such an incredible week, and if we won that match, we would have gone to the national and the NCAA national tournament. But we lost in the finals to a team that went on, I think, to win a couple rounds at nationals. But that was an incredible experience. I've done a podcast on that experience and kind of what I learned from it. It was a really incredible experience. All right, last question here. Will Central Tennis host a tournament in the future? Very, very likely. I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled to see the emergence of like so many of these channels, like Dill Plays, like Tim Tennis, like Tennis Troll. There's all these channels coming out with match play and challenge matches and commentary, and they're gaining momentum and they're gaining kind of popularity. Yeah, my podcast is on Spotify. And I love seeing that trend. It's part of the reason why I've started featuring more match play, and I started playing matches myself before I got hurt. So as the popularity of those matches increases, yeah, I've thought about the idea of bringing like Tennis Troll, Dylan, and MEP, Green Shirt Guy, and Wannabe Pro, and like all these like characters, that people are starting to get to know. All these this kind of cast of characters that are becoming more popular. I would love to bring them all here and do like a YouTuber tennis tournament. And I just think that would be so much fun. Yeah, I see a couple of you saying, yeah, maybe broadcast it. I don't know, like maybe we do like a private stream or something. But then I think when we get to edit the matches and like make them dramatic and exciting, I really love making that kind of content. And I know I'll really love watching that content. So I'd have to think about how to balance streaming it versus producing the content, making it really fun and exciting. So we'll see. All right, that'll do it for today. I'm going to sign off, everybody. I've been talking at you for an hour. Hopefully you enjoyed the Q&A. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all the questions about my ankle. If you missed my update on Green Shirt Guy, aka Ben, or you missed my update on my foot recovery, as soon as this stream is over, just refresh and watch the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes here, I answered those questions. So all you have to do is refresh this as soon as the stream is over and just watch the beginning again. Thank you for your support. We couldn't do what we do without you. Every time you watch a video, every time you click the like button, it helps us tremendously. Even if you don't sign up for any of our courses online, if you don't sign up for Academy or anything else, I still appreciate your support so much. We all love and appreciate every one of you guys for supporting what we're doing. So thank you, really appreciate you, and new video coming out tomorrow. So look forward to that. And I gotta figure out how do I stop broadcasting. I don't even know. This is my first time doing this on my phone. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Really appreciate it. I'll catch you all again soon.